Hi guys, I'm Abby. I'm the Director of Operations here at the Humane Society, and we're going to take you on a tour. And during business hours, any of our staff will help you out up here. If you follow the driveway back, that's where you will drop off intakes. So we will always tell you to follow the driveway back. There's a silver door back there, and we'll be back there to meet you. And then we'll go inside and we'll show you around. I'll take you on a tour so you can kind of see what it's like here, what we do during the day, and what we have to work with. So here is the lobby. When you walk into the building, you first see two of our 4 for-room cat rooms. So our cat rooms are split up by age typically. Right now it's a little different because we don't have a ton of cats. Generally, Cat Country Club is our adult cat room, so you will have 3 years and up adult cats available for adoption in here. We can house, depending on size and age, 5 to 10 cats in this room. Right now we only have 1, and that's Birdie on top of the cage. Okay, so here we've got Paradise. For Paradise, this room is typically teenage cats, 1 to 2 years of age. Right now it's housing kittens that aren't quite old enough for adoption. Because our population is so low, we're able to give them a little more space than being housed in a cage right now. So there's 4 kittens in there. They'll be ready for adoption in about 3 weeks. Over here is just another place to house animals. Sometimes we house cats that don't get along with other cats here. This is Mindy. She's just up here, just a place to give her a little more space than being in one of the smaller cages in the back. She's probably going home later this week. So in the lobby we can have a couple different cages of cats. Sometimes we have small animals that we house up here, so rabbits, guinea pigs, hamsters. Those will be on a table or something up here in the lobby if we ever have any of those. In this corner, we have various donations of dog and cat food. We feed Science Diet here to the animals so they don't get upset tummies, so we donated food to other people who can use it. So especially during COVID right now, this food is available to pet owners who need help with it. Other times we donate it to the senior center, who also gives it out to those who can't afford pet food typically. So this is the community. This is where we do play groups in the morning. So from 8 to noon we have dogs rotating through so they can get a little activity enrichment with each other. This is Chase. He's also probably going home later this week. This room is also used for meet and greets for potential adopters to bring their dogs in and meet the dog that they're interested in, or just to meet the dog that they're interested in. It's just a good room to play and get to know the animal. Outside of business hours, we also use it for board meetings, different events. It's just a multi-purpose community room.
Hi, Betty. Got a whole big playroom.
This is our donation closet, so when the community brings in donations, this is where we have to put them just to get them out of the way until we have a chance to go through and put them away. So this was added about 6 months ago and just kind of hides some of the clutter until we get a chance to put things away. All right, here we are in the office. This is Office Cat Bianca. She's about 13 or 14 years old. Came in as a stray about 1.5 years ago. She is in kidney failure, so she's just gonna live out her life here. She pretty much rules the roost here. Her title might as well be Director of Operations. We do whatever she tells us to do, and that's how she lives her life. So the office, basically where we process adoptions, do all the paperwork, phone calls, everything. So we each have our own little cubicle up here. So this first cubicle is our volunteer coordinator Bobby's, also shared with adoption counselor Taylor. So this is their little spot. This is Stacy's cubicle. She's the dog trainer on staff, and she also is the one that primarily processes the applications. This is Brittany. She is our RBT on staff, and then this is my office as well. This is our little break room. We have a fridge and microwave for lunches and such. And this is also where Bianca's food and water and litter box is held. So in this hallway, this leads you to our one of our kitten rooms. This is Kitty City. Right now we've got about 6 or 7 kittens that will be ready for adoption at the end of this week. So this is the room where people can go in to see adoptable kittens. So when volunteers come in for the day, they can check this out. This tells them all the events that are going on, things we need help with. And then on this side we have a to-do list, so they can see what we need help with during that day. And once it gets done, then they just take the tag off. If it needs done, then they can put the tag up. They sign in here so we can track how many hours we're getting volunteers in. But this is just kind of their little area to know what's going on in here. So these are our 2 intake kennels. A common misconception from the public is that this is a public drop box, and that's not the case. Only the police and our staff has access to these kennels. So if someone were to find a stray animal in the middle of the night or during hours that we're not open, there are only certain people who have the keys to put those animals in here for us to get the next business day. So we'll take you around to the back so you can see what they look like on the other side. But like I said, they are not public drop boxes. You have to have a key to get inside. So in this mailbox, we have flow magnets. So if there is an animal put inside, they put a magnet on top so that the next person that comes, if there's multiple animals in the evening, knows that nothing else can go into this kennel. Just a notice that it is illegal to leave animals outside of the shelter without permission to do so. You have to either contact the police or contact us to drop off an animal. This is our intake room, so this is where all of the strays, owner-surrendered animals come in to keep them away from our general population, just because we don't know if they've been vaccinated, we don't know if they're healthy or not. So this room kind of confines all of those potential germs. And it's private for those who are surrendering an animal, and that can be a difficult time for people. So we have all the paperwork that we would need in here, and then all of the fees on the wall. So we take in stray animals for a donation. There is no set fee, but any donation is appreciated. Owner surrender animals, there is a $50 owner surrender fee, and we can only take in animals from within Whitley County. So this bank of cages we call hall cats. These guys are ready for adoption. There's just not room for them in a room. Like I said earlier, there is a capacity in those rooms. So this is Lexi. She's about 3 years old. Hopefully she will be going home later this week too. She's the only one in this bank right now. This is where Bianca lives at night. Bianca lives in the office majority of the day, but she does get put in a cage at night for the security system. This bank of cages we call Hall 2. So this is where some of the cats come off of their intake. So these guys are not available for adoption. They're not available for the volunteers to interact with. This little girl came in as a stray last night. She doesn't have a name yet. Still getting used to being in a cage, but hopefully she'll be going to a foster home later today. And then same thing for this bank, these 2 banks of cages in here. This is where cats are held off of their stray hold. So a stray hold is at least 5 business days, giving the owners a chance to come looking for them should this be an owned animal. But again, not accessible to the volunteers or available for adoption when they're housed in these cages. This is a multi-purpose room right off of the Hall Cats bank of cages, typically used for kitten overflow. So the kittens that are in here right now are not quite big enough for adoption, but again, they stay happier and healthier if they're not caged forever and ever. So these guys are just a few ounces away from being big enough for adoption. This room is also used for meet and greets if it's empty with other dogs. It can be used to isolate dogs who are going through heartworm treatment. We use it to temperament test dogs in here if it is empty, so it's kind of a multi-purpose room. This is Amber. You can hear her motor going. Once she is big enough, she is already spoken for. She had a little girl come in yesterday that just fell in love with her, so she'll be going home as soon as she's big enough for adoption. So this is where we house all of the clean laundry, blankets, towels, rugs, dog and cat beds, anything that would be washed in the washing machine is housed out here. We recently upgraded to a commercial washer and dryer about 1.5 years ago, so we kind of had to do some different maneuvering to fit everything because the washer and dryer were so much bigger than what we had, but it was definitely a needed upgrade. So these carts are used to pull the laundry from the dryer and bring them over to the clean counter so they can be folded and put away. Everything's labeled so that everyone knows where everything goes, and then anything extra is just housed on the counter until we can find a place for it. And then over here we have the actual washer and dryer, so it's just a short trip. The washer is on the left, the dryer is on the right. The dryer is actually so big that it can dry up to 2 or 3 loads at a time. So everything in this corner is dirty. Everything here and where we just came from is where we keep the clean stuff. So this room is always moving and always busy. So here we have the grooming area, just a regular grooming tub that we can utilize if we have any dogs that come in or cats that need a little extra attention. And then over here we have the vet area, so this is where all the medical exams happen. Myself and Brittany are both RVTs, so we do all the vaccinations, heartworm tests, ear cleanings, all that good stuff. So the vet table, the scale, the fridge where all the vaccines are held, medicine is in the cabinets, and then this is the med board. So anybody that is on meds or needs anything specific gets put on the med board so that everyone on our staff is on the same page and knows what's going on, what they need, when they need it, and who gave it at what time. Tons of storage out here. So cat litter, multiple various sizes of cages, carriers, crates, etc. The garage is in, or the van is in here, so we can open up the door so you can see what this looks like. This was an upgrade about 4 or 5 years ago from our minivan that we used to have to load carriers in ourselves. This room we call dog isolation. It's typically an overflow of kittens most of the time. So this is mostly a kitten nursery where the kittens are much too young and there's no foster homes available, so they stay in here. There's just one litter in here right now. Come here.
Hi, kids.
Cat isolation, so this is where any sick animals are housed that we don't want intermixed with our general population. These guys, there are 3 kittens in here. They just have a little bit of an upper respiratory infection, so they'll be on antibiotics until they're through with that, and then they'll be introduced into the general population once they're healthy enough. Another always busy room, this is our food preparation room. So everything here to the left is clean. Food bowls, buckets, toys, litter scoops, litter boxes, all that good stuff. This is where all the clean stuff is held, as well as food and treats, different types of enrichment. And then here where all 3 sinks are is where all the dirty stuff is held. So today was a full scrub day in the cat room, so once they're done cleaning everything, they'll come back here and work on dishes. This is a big project for volunteers too, because this room is always busy, like I said. Everything is cleaned with bleach, so they go from sink to sink, so it's a 3-step process. We have plenty of space to dry things, and then again they get put back. And now we're in the kennel. Right here are the 2 doors to enter the cat rooms that you saw in the lobby, so that's how you get in there. And then we'll just kind of introduce you to how our kennel is split up. Here on the right side are the doors to get into the vet area, the laundry room, and then food prep. So the building's one big square, so we can get pretty much anywhere from most doors. This row of kennels we call puppy row. This is usually overflow of adoption. If we have a lot of dogs available for adoption, we try to keep smaller, younger dogs on this side, so that if people come in and they're looking for something specific, we don't have to walk through the whole kennel. If we have small dogs, we'll walk them over here. This row is also utilized at the end for some storage. So all these kennels are full of dirty crates from different transports. So this is another job that volunteers or staff will do when they get a chance, scrubbing everything up and getting it put away accordingly. And then the last 2 kennels are just storage for food and bleach that we go through tons and tons of. and then miscellaneous containers and beds and storage and stuff. In the middle of the kennel, we have a double-sided row of kennels that we call center row. This is where the bulk of the adoptable animals stay. It is double-sided. We do everything we can to keep it so that they don't have a dog across from them, so they don't have that added stress of seeing or hearing another dog in the kennel across from them. In this corner, we have another place to house blankets and towels, just easy access while we're cleaning in here. And then underneath is some of the enrichment items. This row is gated, so both ends have a gate. The general public and volunteers are not allowed back here. This is where dogs come in off of their intake, so this is where strays are held, owner surrenders. Sometimes we have bite quarantines. This is where they're held. They're not mixed in with the general population. They haven't been evaluated for adoption. They've not been through their medical exam. So this is where they are held until all that happens. And then these last couple kennels are just storage, again, for miscellaneous things that we would use frequently in the kennels. Cleaning supplies, enrichment, toys, beds, all that good stuff is held so that it's easily accessible when we need those things. So here's the part in the tour where you won't be able to hear what I'm going to say, so we're going to stay right here and then we'll walk you through and show you what it's like outside. So every morning our dogs are out from 8 to noon. They're rotated through playgroups. They go on bike rides and walks. They get to interact with their dogs and kind of get out of their kennel and release some of that energy. Here we've got a breakdown of who should go in what kennel. There's different types of kennels outside, so sometimes we have chewers, we have diggers, we have climbers, so we have to mark who can go where and where it's safe to put them. So we'll walk outside and we'll show you everyone out there. Most of them are available for adoption, and you can kind of see the setup out here.
Hi. Hi, baby. Hello. What are you doing? Hi, Levi. This is Chase.
We also have a couple kennels out back. Our population varies. Sometimes we have 10 dogs, sometimes we have 30. So this is just another place to house dogs. Typically we house either the scared ones or the ones that don't get along with other dogs out here, so they can have a little bit of a break and a little bit more peace and quiet out here because it can get pretty loud outside. And then out there we've got another yard, just another exercise yard for dogs to interact and let off a little steam. So we've got a couple huskies out there. There are boards at the bottom so they can't dig out, and it is curved in at the top so they can't climb out as well. And being in a cage, since we have the room, we wanted to give them that. So these guys will typically be between 1 and 2 years of age. Do you want me to do this section again? Do you want me to start over in Paradise?
Sure.